Off the loss. Was it good for this club to maybe not have the pressure of a big winning streak going forward? I know you hate losing any time, but in that respect, was it good to kind of maybe take some of that pressure off and winning 21 in a row?
Yeah, you got a group of D1 athletes. You didn't get here by not being competitive and not hate losing. And so, I mean, you ask any one of us, and we'd rather have won that game than lost it, 10 times out of 10. But I mean, there's nothing we can do about it now. It's over. And so, maybe in the long run, we really don't know now. We can look back and be like, that loss was, a turning point or a reawakening, which we're using it right now, relighting the fire. So, we don't know yet, but, looking back when we go on, it could be that for us.
Go ahead, Jim.
Is it easy to dismiss a loss where, they just hit everything they threw up, but maybe it was us that was some things we didn't do right?
Oh, no, it was for sure we beat ourselves. Maybe St. Mary's played the game of their lives. They went 14 from 21 from 3, shot 50% from the field, but you got to look, did we make them take tough shots? Did we contest everything? Did we play defense to where they couldn't get those open looks for 3? And yeah, there's so much that we could have changed and fixed. And offense, we didn't shoot our best game, but did we get the looks we wanted? Did we run our offense correctly to get what we were looking for? And the answer is no. And so yeah, we definitely beat ourselves. Anyone in our conference will play the best game of their lives against us, but in the end, it's always going to come down to us doing what we do or not doing what we do to win or lose.
Kind of a motivating thing for you guys moving forward?
For sure, yeah. I think it definitely relit the fire. It is tough to win, 21 in a row or 20 in a row. Definitely you kind of just get going in the motions and you just kind of fall into the rut of, expecting to win, expecting to make every shot, expecting other teams to miss shots that they probably shouldn't make. But they do make them. And so definitely we can use it now as something that kind of refires us, relights us up. And just, so many teaching points from it that we're able to use.
The fact, you had an injury late last year. Laura had one as well. Now Katie has one. How do you adjust without her in the lineup?
Yeah, it's different. We're missing her leadership as well as her playing, and her defense is something that she doesn't get credited enough for. Everyone thinks of her about her threes, but they don't think how many steals or deflections she gets a game, and it's just huge. And so it's just going to take everyone else stepping up. Not one person's going to step up and fill her entire role. That'd be impossible for our team. You can't just fill a role like that. So it's going to take everyone stepping up in different ways, and we've had to do it last year. And we're just having to do it again this year, and it's just kind of something that we got to deal with. And just move on and try to fill her role as best as we can as a team instead of just one person trying to fill it.
So what do you guys focus on as a group going into this week from what you learned from last weekend?
Just resetting, just getting back to our principles. We lost a lot of defensive principles during that game that led to them, getting the open looks that they got. And, our offense just kind of expecting it to work when everyone else has a game plan for it not to work. They out-game planned us. They out-executed their game plan than we did. They out-scouted us, executed their scout. And so it's just kind of relining with that and getting it figured out moving forward.
Setting as a group after last weekend's loss. Is that kind of the focus right now as a group for you guys to kind of just get back to square one with you guys defensively?
Yeah, I think so. I know Saturday was tough. It's never fun losing, but this is a new week and we have a new game to look forward to. And starting yesterday, that's what we talked about, was just refocusing and resetting and working on what we need to work on to prepare ourselves for this week. And that's also working on the things we didn't do so well and what we need to do to prepare ourselves for this coming game.
Is it easy to maybe fall back and say, well, they just threw up, they made everything they threw up, but as far as shots, I know they were crazy from 3, but still you have to say, well, what did we do wrong that let them do that?
Right? They couldn't miss. That's always hard playing against teams like that. And I know with us, we talked about our defense and positioning on how we were positioned, and we may have been in the right spots, but not our body directly where we should be. And so that was one of our focuses yesterday, is just working on how to be in the right position and to take away those shots that they had. And communication also, just communicating with each other and telling us what's going on behind us when we can't see it. But they played great that game, and we tried to stop them. It was hard, but I know next time when we play them, we'll adjust and we'll figure out what we need to do better than we did last game we played them.
How much of an adjustment is it for you personally with Katie not being out there defensively on the perimeter, because she really is a ball hawk out there? How much does it change things for you defensively as far as leading this group out there on the perimeter?
I think it has changed obviously, but I don't think not too much, because Kaylee, who stepped in, and everyone else who stepped up with defensively has done such a great job, and last week really showed it, especially against Pacific and how tough we played against St. Mary's. And losing Katie was really hard because she was the person who picked up the ball, and I think Kaylee did a really nice job last week with doing that. And Katie's leadership still shows off the court, and we miss it obviously on the court. It's hard losing a teammate, but she's been doing such a great job with Kaylee and us just talking from the side and on the court also when she tries to be part of it as much as possible. But and we love that about her. She's always involved.
You guys kind of lean upon, the way you lost Jill and Laura at the end of last year in this situation now that Katie's gone. You kind of lean upon that experience as a group?
Yeah, we always use that as kind of a thing to that we've been through it before, and you always have to adjust. Things will happen. We can't control it, and it's just us coming together as a team and figuring out what we need to do collectively as a group to keep going and keep doing what we do as a team on the court. And so there's always a change every game. So
So what's the big focus for you guys this week to get back on the winning track?
I think just focusing on the little details. Defensively, if we need to be in help side, or offensively with executing our plays and the timing and spacing and stuff. And I think just focusing on those little things these past few days will help us get back on track and be ready for San Francisco.
Do you think Kaylee's confidence helped her kind of step up in that starting spot? She's always played before.
Yeah, I mean, I know she was a little nervous starting, and I know I was as a freshman when I stepped in, and I think her confidence really helped her, and from the first play, she was like, I'm kind of nervous, but I'm like, you'll be fine. And then after the first couple possessions, she fit right in, and she just played her game, and she's done a really nice job.
When I talked to Kaylee and I asked her who helped her the most getting ready to start, she said you. So what do you think that you've done to help her getting ready to start?
I think just kind of help motivate her and telling her it's just another game. We're all playing for the same thing, and I know it's a different role, but it's still just the game. We're still playing. We're still running the same offense, same defense, and just helping her out by talking to her on the court and off the court, and answering any questions that she has, and just kind of helping guide her and Lynn.
Kind of like filling in for Laura last year in the WCC tournament, right?
Yeah, kind of like Laura.
A little bit. Not exactly,
a little bit, yeah.
Resetting, I guess, is the key word they're using right now. How are you getting them to reset after what happened, particularly defensively last week?
Well, we have new players who are playing positions, and Katie was a really good defender. A lot of people have been asking questions about what we're going to miss the most in Katie's absence, and I think the easy answer is the offense, but I think the defense was, even when she wasn't getting 5 steals, she's just pesky. She's usually in the right spot. She's experienced and seasoned in that way, so she's quick, all those things. And her and Jess were kind of interchangeable when it came to defense as far as guarding the ball or getting back and being the safety. And so it's a different thing for Kaylee to have to do. And Townie and Jen and Lee and Jessie, they're used to having someone out there who's also going to be doing the right thing, so that when they make a mistake or are in the wrong spot every once in a while, it's kind of covered up by another good. Well, now they have a player without as much experience out there with them, and then when they make a mistake, it becomes more obvious. So I think that we need to continue to work on those things. There's slippage that happens. I don't think we're talking as much. I think as coaches, we haven't maybe held them as accountable as we'd like to in all of those little areas, because you get to this part of the season, you're trying to just do the scout, and Mondays we try to work on ourselves, but you get stuck thinking about Pacific or BYU or Santa Clara or San Francisco or whoever you have on Thursday, and so you don't spend as much time on your little details from time to time. So I think for us as coaches, we're trying to reiterate the fundamentals. We have to get these guys up to speed as fast as possible, and then have the guys who do have the experience get back to doing the right thing almost, all the time. Not just most of the time, not just some of the time. They have to do it all the time because now they're out there with an inexperienced player almost all the time. Between Lou's a junior, but she's still less experienced than Katie, and Lee and Lynn are just taking up all of those old minutes.
Besides being a player, what are you going to miss about Katie?
Well, again, the vocal, we're talking about being more vocal, and sometimes you don't realize those things until people are graduated or until they're injured, and she's doing a much better job than some at staying vocal, yelling on the sidelines and that kind of thing. But I think she was talking a lot more just talk, so that the practice seems loud. She's talking at people, talking to people, calling where she is, and that's been a difference. I think our practices have been a little bit quiet. Part of that might be that people are a little down, and now we're through that. Now we had last week to kind of mourn the situation, and you can't afford to be down anymore. We have to move on. But also, she just did a lot of that. So that's something, her energy, the shooting, but she's trying hard to continue to be a great leader, which is a huge challenge for injured players. It's a challenge that Kylie's gone through. Emma Wolfram went through that. Laura and Towney last year. It's not an easy one, but it is something that we are asking her to do, and she wants to do because she wants to stay as a part of the team and make an impact in any way she can, and that's a way that she can help us.
As a person, what are you going to miss most about Katie?
With graduation, with being a senior. Okay. As a person, it's the first time we have Pink Week and the injury, and so I haven't really been thinking about senior week that much, but I know it's early. She's so tough. She's a great example. I feel similarly to her as I do about Shaniqua, and they're such an inspiration to me, and I think the team when things are going, not that great. That just remind yourself that we just lost and Katie has to go home and take care of her daughter, or you're sick and Katie has to still go home and take care of her daughter. So what she's doing is amazing. She's a very resilient woman. She's gone through a lot in her life. She's got a pretty easygoing, for being mature, she's also pretty easygoing and laid back personality, but really competitive, which I love about her. I'm really happy for the way things worked out. I don't know if you guys remember, but we recruited her out of high school and then didn't offer her. Yep. Went to Washington State, and then that middle of the night tweet that I looked at for some unknown reason about her doing so well down at Ventura, and I'm so thankful for Ava and kind of some of the things that Katie went through, because it landed her back here at Gonzaga, which is where she belonged, obviously. And we're going to miss all parts, but she's going to go down as one of the great Zags and has done some things that we haven't seen on the court since Tiffany Shives, and I haven't compared the numbers, but I don't know if we've had that kind of shooter since Tiff. That's a long time ago. So she's an impressive basketball player and a very impressive young woman.
And Jessie has been here for 4 years and brought a lot of energy. She's been such a crowd favorite. Why do you think that is?
Because she works so hard. She's so exciting. I think she gets steals. She's little and chasing people down. She takes charges. She has assists. Those are things that are big time excitement in-game momentum changers and those types of things. So I think that people like that about her. She usually does it with a smile, but she's not one to ever quit on anything. So I think that that's why fans appreciate her. She's always been a little spark plug and even still is. And yeah, unless you need more.
I don't want to cheer you up again. Well,
No.
I mean,
Yeah,
everybody's different personality-wise, and certainly Jessie has been, we think of her as high energy, but I'm sure there's more to it than that.
Yeah, personality-wise, I think she's a little bit more of a quiet assassin. She's not always as sure of herself as some, doesn't have necessarily that big personality, but in small situations, and actually she's very comfortable around us. I don't know she's been coming to Gonzaga since her sisters came through camp here. She was on their team as a 6th or 7th grader. So she's been around us for a long time. We know her probably as well as some of the teammates do. And so, she's really caring and always trying to do things for the team. She's the one who decorates the locker room or brings in cookies or Valentine's and Christmas presents, and really a good-hearted person. She's a special education major, so that takes a kind of person who is patient and caring about people, and I think she's developed a lot as an individual in her time in college, and she has such a great family, but being away from them and having to do some of the stuff that she's had to do as by herself, and it's fun to see her growth, and I have lots of confidence in her and her development in those things. So,
Thank
Yeah, sorry.